Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the First Class, Second Place podcast. I'm your host, Jason Enrique, and with me, we have a very special guest today. Before I introduce her, though, I just want to say that this episode is now living proof that dreams do come true. And what I mean by that is having my guest here has been a dream come true. I've been thinking about this for quite some time, and a lady that needs no introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Black Rose. How you doing, Black Rose?
Thank you. That sounded great. I didn't think I was affecting people like that yet, but yeah. It feels good. It feels good.
Well, it feels great to have you on here, so thank you so much. And I've alluded to this on the show plenty of times before, that the name of the show is called First Class, Second Place. Therefore, we take pride in bringing first class people here. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here, like in person.
Yeah.
Remember the Zoom days?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, but now we up now. All right, and before we continue, I just want to remind everybody that we are in lovely Garfield, New Jersey at Bravery Studios. Shout out to Mar behind the glass. Thank you so much, brother. Much appreciated for everything you do here. So yeah, like I said, this has been a dream come true. I feel like I've definitely been hitting like a good streak here because I've had the lovely Alana J on.
Yes,
I've had
Alana.
Rachel La Loca. I've had Ramon Pasante, and now we have it with Black Rose. I mean, this is great, man. This is definitely first class material here. Loving this.
Look at us.
Yeah. So anyway, so let's get the show started with the question that I ask everybody that comes onto the show.
Okay.
So where does the story of Black Rose begin? Like, where were you born and raised?
Born and raised in Harlem. 137 between Broadway and Riverside.
Okay.
In a trap house. Joking but not joking.
You half kidding.
Yeah. As a young kid, I was always into the arts, so I feel like ever since even elementary, like I was always in something, whether it was band, dance, choir, and I felt like it's things that I did to kind of stay busy because, you know, there was a lot of stuff happening on the block.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
A lot of stuff happening on the block.
Yeah, so it's safe to say that at an early age, you knew that you wanted to be performative no matter what it was, you know?
Yes.
And I can think that kind of, you know, it even holds weight to this day because, as I mentioned before when we started the show, like it's kind of hard to put you in a box, and you don't want to be in a box anyway. But you've done it all. You've done music, you've done acting, you've done comedy, you've done social media, you've done partying, you've done motherhood, you've done it all, you know, like, so you definitely lived a real full life, and you're not even halfway done with it yet. You're still a lot more Black Rose to go. But so I guess what I want to ask you as far as like being performative, would you say that it was just a part of your personality from the get-go, or did you see something like maybe watched a movie or a TV show that kind of put it into perspective about what you want to do with your life?
Yeah. So like I said, I'm my mother's child that she had here in the United States. She came to the United States when she was 38. Had me when she was 40. Yeah, from the Dominican Republic. DR. Shout out to DRNY. Y'all see my Dominican earrings?
Oh, snap.
Shout out to all geeks. Plátano power.
Yeah, ¿qué lo que?
De lo mío. Dominican. So she had me at 40, and it was like her, you know, I was like her American daughter, but I used to watch a lot of sitcoms growing up. That's how I kind of learned English, because I wasn't learning English in the house.
Spanish was your first language.
Yeah, Spanish was my first language, and then I started watching a lot of sitcoms, and I was like into all of that. And as I got older, it kind of got into me going into music through church.
I see.
Yeah, and like I said, I always just found a reason not to really be home watching some of the things. Not that my house was toxic. It's just that my mom had to pay bills, and sometimes she would cook for the drug dealers back in the days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's how I learned how to count money. No joke.
That's how you learn math, basically.
That's
that was
how
your math
I learned
class.
math. I used to count the stacks of 20s until I had 5, and I knew that made 100.
There you go. At least you learned it, you know? No, way before calculators.
Yeah, but way before calculators. So yeah, that's how I got into the arts and just loving all of that. And then, of course, I fell in love with hip hop, as they say. My brother came to the United States when he was like 9, so he was like an influence for me. Okay. When it came to like the hip hop scene, and I remember he used to be like, engine number
Number
9
on the New York Transit line. If my train goes off the track, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
We used to live on the 19
Yeah.
train line, 137 Broadway.
Nice.
Even though they never picked up my number train line ever up again.
It's okay.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. I'm not even going to do the acronym right now. It's still too early for me. I'm still trying to wake up. I haven't had my coffee yet. So, all right. So, I would say that, you know, it seems early on that you were just really thrown into the mix of all like, you know, just, you know, music and all these other things. But like, I mean, I know you can't really put a moment on it or anything like that, because I just feel like as far as being funny and being performative, that's just who you are, and that's just who you. I don't think you know how to be anything else, but you know what? That's great, because you don't need to be like anybody else. I've always said that if you want to be a legend, just do you, because there's nobody else that could do you better. So when you are yourself, you're going to be a legend in your own right. So
unless he could do me better. Oh, sorry.
No.
Putting it out there.
Putting it out there, put something in there. Anyway.
Oh, okay, I see what you did there.
Aha. Yeah. So growing up in, well, first of all, was it in the Heights or the Bronx? Kind of correct me there for a second.
So this is my story.
Yeah.
Guys, Black Rose, for those of you that don't know me, born and raised in Harlem. So that's how I get my swag. Right?
Ah, okay.
But then I did live in the Bronx like a good 10 years. So BX, stand up. And after that, moved to Washington Heights for another few years. Stop counting. Mind your business.
There you
This
go.
is a certified hood
So I'm from I'm from New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a
I
New
love
York-
the Bronx. Yeah.
Just a New York kid all around.
I'm a New York kid all around.
Right. So, basically, we all know the story about like how it is growing up there and like the upbringing and so on and so forth. But it seemed like you made the best of it and everything.
Yeah.
So as you get older into adulthood and you're now a whole ass mom, as the kids say nowadays, how did life shift for you compared to how it was when you know growing up and everything?
So definitely when I had my son, which I got pregnant young, I was 19, going on 20. I was about to hit 20 when I gave birth. It definitely became, he was my responsibility, my number one thing. My son's father ended up landing a job, and we lived in Mount Vernon for a bit. Free rent, no light bill, free utilities. It was gold. It was like the perfect thing for like a young couple to have, not have to worry about paying rent while raising a child. And I swear to God, I was just, my son must have been like 2 to 3 months old, and I started working right away. I took that stroller. I took him on a stroller to my first interview at Bally Total Fitness back in the days.
Oh, okay.
Got the job right away. And that was my life. I was like, I'm a mom now. So everything had to like kind of pause for me, or everything that I was pursuing, because I was in theater, and I was singing in church, and I was rapping. I was still right, but I wasn't pursuing it as much. And to me, I just needed to make sure that rent was paid and that my son would be taken care of. So I just worked a lot. I used to work the gym industry. And I think it took when he was maybe like 5-6 years old that I started getting back into just writing more and started recording more, when I was being Black Rose the lyricist, you know?
Right, yeah. Now, as far as writing goes, I know that when it comes to a lot of artists, especially when you know, either they're rapping or they're singing or they just want to be lyricists or poets or whatever the case may be, they usually start off that as kind of like their form of therapy, because coming from the places that they come from, more or less, that's what they use as an outlet to get out whatever they need to, you know, get out. Because, you know, I feel like we've made a lot of strides as far as like mental health is concerned, and you know, being prevalent and trying to get the help that we need, but we didn't necessarily have that back then. So we had to find other outlets. Some of them it was playing ball. Some of them it was doing music. Some of them it was whatever the case may be, learning an instrument, being performative, whatever the case may be.
I did all of the above. I was even in the my junior high school basketball team. It's so funny you said even playing ball, but yeah.
Right. So you've done it all, but like it seems like for me, the sense that I'm getting at is that these weren't just things that you had an interest in, but this was what you needed to do in order to, for lack of a better term, it was like your form of therapy to get through whatever you were going through in your personal life.
Yeah. Like
and not
an escape.
And not just from the environment that you lived in, but just your own personal battles that you dealt with in between, within, I should say.
Yeah, I did, and I found joy in it too at the same time. That's why, like, when I think about it, like, even you saying, like, some people play ball, and I'm like, I play ball too.
You got the hype for it.
I sucked the first year. But then I was playing with, all the black girls, so I learned.
Oh, shit.
Shout out to Our Lady of Lords.
Oh, snap. And shout out to Lady of Lords. Now, there's one thing that kind of, I don't know if it's going to be a little bit of a tough question to answer, but it's just something that I kind of think about every now and then, especially when it comes to people that are performative like you are. So a friend of mine, Chris Abalo, he mentioned something about like the sad clown effect, meaning that people usually have this performative and personality where they're always funny and it just naturally comes out of them and everything. But in some way, shape, or form, it's kind of like their mask to hide like whatever they go through personally, and it's their sword and their shield basically. And one of the best examples that I could think of is I feel like a person like Robin Williams, who this was a guy who he was able to make the entire world laugh, and he brought so much joy to somebody,
so
to everybody,
loved.
and so loved and so admired. But it's just really sad that the only person that he couldn't make happy was himself, and it ended up costing his life. So I guess the question that I want to ask you is that do you feel like this personality, that this funny thing that comes out of you all the time has kind of been like a little bit of a defense mechanism growing up, and even still affects you still to this day?
I think for sure, like, not to that magnitude of me not being happy or being able to make myself happy. But when you go through a lot of things as a young child, you learn to block the things that could hurt you. My mom raised me as a single mom. But I was still around my dad's side of the family.
Okay.
So they would acknowledge me. He wouldn't as much for their own reasons. Who knows the things that our parents went through, that's why they didn't stay together. But I know why. My mom was a side chick. So, you know what I'm saying? That's part of my stand-up, so this is like no secret. I joke about it all the time. I was like, my mom came to the United States and said, fuck this, trying to settle down, because it didn't work the first 3 times.
4 times the charm.
4th time, she was just going to be the side chick. And I'm the product of that. But, yeah, art is my therapy, and being able to express myself. But I gotten to the point, I'm 42 now, so
I would have never guessed that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, but continue. Latinas, they don't age.
Yeah.
They age
I think I've resolved my daddy issues is what I'm saying. It's like, I am fine. I understand why people go through things, and this is just the cards that I was dealt with, and I'm gonna try to express my passion as well as I can through all these different outlets. And that I like that I do it when I feel like it. Like, you can't box me in. Once again, like, sometimes people are like, oh, well, you haven't done skits in a long time. And I'm like, I know, but I'll do it when I want to.
Yeah. Isn't that also kind of hard? Also, like when you're doing all these things, and some of the things, one of the things that's really hard to do when you're doing so many avenues is the consistency. The consistency can be really tricky because it's not like you could spread out everything all together. You kind of have to like. You kind of have to like share. It's almost like, having kids, you got to give them all the same love. You can't just one love and not the other one. But I don't know. I mean, I don't have any kids myself, so I may be talking out of my ass. But I guess that's the best analogy that I can think of. Like the consistency part is the really hard part. And I feel like maybe because there's been so much going on with you and your career and your life and everything, that it's kind of hard to find the time to do everything all at once.
It is hard to do everything. And sometimes we get so caught up on trying to stay caught up with everything that you forget to catch up with rest too.
Oh yeah.
So
that whole stupid mentality when I was 20 years old, like I'm sleep when I'm dead.
No, yeah. Remember, team no sleep. Team no sleep. We out here looking like fucking zombies. Can't even function. Team no sleep.
We already are zombies with all of us digging our faces in the phones and everything.
And that's another thing. Like even things like that, I try to be conscious about the amount of screen time that I have, that I do. Back in the days, it's like as soon as I woke up, I felt like I had to post something and I had to maintain that persona or image online. They was like, yo, when I wake up, and when everybody wakes up, they're expecting Black Rose to post either a funny meme or a funny skit, like something, or something inspirational, because y'all know me, sometimes it's how I'm feeling at that moment.
Little TED Talk here and there.
Yeah, and then having to reply to every comment, because we have to reply for the engagement. And, you know, that whole shit, I don't even care about any of that anymore.
Right.
Like, I noticed that we could get, like, infatuated with, like, having a reply, having a post, and, oh, my God, what about the views and the followers? I don't care no more. I don't care no more.
It's you know, that's I've been through that before when I felt like I was getting a little bit of semblance of success with the podcast and everything, and I felt like it was overstimulating my brain. And also when you have certain people that come into your ear and they always trying to have some kind of input and everything, it's like you gotta you know, pick your spots, you know. And it's also funny when these same people are coming at you when they didn't necessarily give you the support or had your back in the beginning. And then finally when they see the ball rolling, then afterwards they come out of the woodwork.
Yep. Everybody want to be your friend all of a sudden sometimes. It's funny. You got to just learn how to trust your intuition and use discernment with the energies that you allow around you.
Yeah.
Because I'm an empath. So I can pick up on things a lot. And sometimes, even though people won't admit it, I could tell when the energy is a little off. But I've also grown enough to learn that it's not something personal towards me. That's just something that person might have in their mind that's making them react a little bit. I'm just quick now to acknowledge it or call it out, compared to back in the days when I used to ignore it and always give the benefit of the doubt with weird energies. And those are things that would affect me back in the days.
Right.
Like wanting to, I want to say wanting to be liked by everyone, but like you can't be, everybody's not going to like you. Everybody's not going to understand your vision. The gift wasn't given to them, so they're not going to get it. But then eventually when you start popping off, then they start getting it. Like, oh, shit, you're actually funny. I'm like, yes, bitch. I am. What you mean I'm actually funny? I'm trying to show you.
Yeah. You know, I think that's one of the things that that has really healed me in a lot of ways, where I used to be this kind of person where I felt like I needed the whole world to love me, because I felt like I got neglected a lot of love when I was younger. And then afterwards it got to a point where I just, you know, I realized, long story short, that having a small circle is really key. Because I think it was Denzel Washington, my favorite actor, by the way, who said something about, like, I used to want to make everybody happy. Now I want to make the people that love me happy. There's a huge difference. It sounds simple, but it's a huge difference.
It is. And that's what you learn as you get older.
Yeah. So, one of the things that also one of the things I appreciate about you as well is that you go on your social media and you're absolutely very funny, and you're doing all these skits, and you're going to all these events and everything. You know, your Instagram is popping. Let's just keep it what it is. Let's keep it on 100. But one thing that I also remember very vividly is you're pretty much an activist as well. And I remember that there was an unfortunate tragedy that happened months ago when there was this kid with autism that was attacked in the subway. And, you know, me and my co-host at the time, we actually did an episode because she's actually a mother of 2 children on the spectrum. So that was actually very harrowing for her. And she had an amazing monologue in one of the episodes earlier on this month. And I love the fact that this was something that was very passionate to you. Like, I don't know if you know anybody personally that's on the spectrum or anything like that, but okay, so there is a little bit of sense in there. So, but you being able to actually put a voice out there for the people whose voices have not been loud enough or haven't even been given a voice. I thought that was absolutely commendable, and I could see and I could see that there was much more depth in you than just being this funny person that's on social media that brings joy to everybody. Like, there was a real sense of humility within you that day, and I thought that was amazing to see personally.
Thank you. I think when we all saw that video, for me, like, I was just really disturbed that, number one, it was happening in our neighborhood, and hearing the racial slurs that were being told to that young boy and him getting bullied like that. It just didn't make sense to me. I'm just like, no, come on, we're not experiencing this right now. People should know better, right? When you first seeing it, you don't know if anyone's in the spectrum or not, right? You're just like, what's happening? Like, I was like, this should not be happening. You know, like, I'm very upset. I'm a very proud Afro-Latina. So that's something that I've always made sure to let people know. So when I hear a Latino saying that they're not Black or something like that, you know, trying to deny their African roots, it really upsets me. And sometimes even when I'm saying that I'm a proud Afro-Latina, and some people are like, oh, you're only saying that now because you think it's beneficial. Like, for me, that has been standing up for that part of me, and then seeing these kids using those racial slurs really bothered me. And I'm like, what, this happened right here? Now we got to figure out who these kids are, because if they go to school around here, we need to educate them.
Yes.
This is a no-go for me. I didn't even care to, you know, think that I'm like just using my platform to call anyone out, but I needed to speak up about it. And if I'm going to speak up about it, I can't just post this video for what people might think is engagement and views and not do something about it.
And sadly, that is out there. You know, there were people out there that it seems like they were subconsciously, you know, trying to spread awareness, but subconsciously it's almost like, you know, it gets them a lot of views and it gets them a lot of attention because they appear to be this person that really cares about the world and what's going on out there and everything, but subconsciously they don't realize that maybe they're doing it for the wrong reasons. One of the things that I notice also is that sometimes if somebody is going through like having a bad day or going through the depression or whatever, you know, don't just share and repost certain quotes and everything and just go by your day. Actually try to practice your own beliefs and your own peace and your own energy and try to reserve it, because I feel like we were talking about earlier about zombies, just like it kind of has that zombie mentality where we're just looking for validation and affirmations through a piece of technology. It's very Demolition Man like. I mean, Marv knows what I'm talking about.
He's a very Demolition Man. But yeah, I felt like I just had to do something that day and kind of figure it out and get to the bottom of it without pointing fingers everywhere. And a lot of information came out of that. We were able to have that rally, which I didn't expect. I posted that just because I wanted the neighborhood to show up. I didn't expect all the news channels to pop up. Like, that was like, I was like, oh, okay.
Right. But you ran with it, which was something that I felt like was necessary and it needed to happen. So I definitely commend you for that. I personally don't know anybody that is on the spectrum in my life, but it's something that I'm pretty aware about, and I'm also, you know, I wouldn't want to say I'm passionate about, but I definitely do care because I know people in my circle that actually go through that, and I know it must be tough for them. So yeah, it's something that needs to be brought to awareness, and you know, it's just amazing. We have a lot of progress in this world, but there's so much more that needs to be done.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah, but I really appreciate that. And a round of applause real quick, Marv, for your advocacy and everything as far as that's concerned. Yeah, so one of the things that I wanted to ask you also is, you know, you come from a time, you know, you've been in the game for quite some time. You've been doing all these kind of arts and everything for a very long time, ever since you were young. And it kind of gives me the sense that in this world now that we live in of progression, and, you know, I feel like we made a lot of strides and everything, but I can imagine how it was back then, even like in the 90s or in the early 2000s, where it was very tough for a woman like you to really get their name out there in a male-dominated industry. And it's still kind of like that in some ways. So even though we made all this progression in 2023 and a little bit before that, what would you say were some of your trials and tribulations that you had to go through way back in the day when you first started? Especially being in a male-dominated industry.
Kind of maintaining my image of what I felt I wanted to be looked at as. when I was making my rounds as a female MC, that's how Black Rose emerged. That was the birth of Black Rose. And of course, females are expected to just always talk about sex or be sexy and even
sex sells, basically.
Yeah, sex sells. And when I would get on stage, people, number one, thought I was going to start singing. And when they would hear that I was actually rapping, it would kind of like surprise them. And then it became a thing of like people always wanting me to push maybe sex. And I'm like, no, I kind of want to talk about deeper things. I want to sound like I'm part of the female Wu-Tang crew.
Right.
And navigating through all of that is also funny because numbers sell as well. So even going through open mics and doing all these shows, you could be good, but if you're not bringing out 30, 40 people in these competitions, are you really winning? No, because they're going to go with what they think is making the most noise or selling the most tickets. So navigating through that was interesting as well, and seeing, I don't know, like it just felt a little weird. And I did stop making music for a while because I was just like, I don't know if I really
Was
like
it a
this.
sense of discouragement?
I'm not trying to like give this ass up just to make it, you know,
Right.
that's just not my thing.
Exactly.
And so it was a little discouraging, but even though I stopped making those rounds as heavy as I was back then, I'm glad I didn't stop writing. And every now and then in between the going then to comedy and still having that passion for music inside of me, I still made sure to write. And every now and then I would just record just for me, just to have a song. Not necessarily like, oh, I'm going to make this a whole project and then we're going to drop this and we're going to record the video.
Yeah.
It was more because that was my therapy, that like I wanted to release whatever was in that song at that time.
And it's funny you mentioned that because there was a time where I was kind of like in your realm. What I mean by that is back in the early 2000s, I actually started to do music as well, like during the MySpace days.
Yeah,
when
remember MySpace?
Oh yeah,
we were coders out here. What happened to us? We were so smart.
I know, and then we just became dumbified.
Now we're dummies.
Now we're dummies. Yeah,
Can't code for shit.
Well, yeah, that is true. Yeah, we could have been hackers. Yo.
We could have been hackers. We have potential.
Thank you, Tom. But anyway, so yeah, during the MySpace days is when I was trying to, and I mentioned this before on the show before, where like I feel like I was on that cusp where I was still trying to do the old school tactics where I felt like I needed to get a demo out there and reach out to A&Rs and to performances and probably sell them out of the CDs out of the trunk of my car and shit like that.
The loop.
Yeah.
The loop.
But then I was right on that cusp where MySpace had exploded, and that's how you needed to make your rounds. You needed to network in that aspect. You had to have songs already uploaded and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think what also made it tough for me at the time was reggaeton had just blown up, like Daddy Yankee and Nori and Don Omar were all over the place, and Wisin y Yandel. So because me and my other my other artists that we were working together, they want and we started making some moves with some people that were already in this industry. They wanted to mash us into that aspect of the whole reggaeton explosion, even though my Spanish is for shit. So, but yeah, they wanted to capitalize on that. But me, I was more from the boom bap era. Like I love the DJ Premiers, I love the Pete Rock, I love the Ninth Wonders, I love the Alchemist. That was my thing.
I understand that.
That's what I wanted to do, and it did get discouraging for me. And then it got to a point where I stopped doing music. But then later on, it got to a point where maybe I want to start doing it just for me and not try to make it a career. Now I realized that I don't have what it takes right now to write anymore. Like I've actually tried to put a pen to the paper and everything, and nothing's been coming out. But who knows? Maybe it'll happen in the future. Maybe not. I mean, I have the equipment if I ever want to record again.
You just need something might inspire something, and you never know.
Exactly. But the point is that I've been able to find other mediums that make me happy, whereas the studio that we're in right now doing a show, this is actually my niche right now. This is what I feel like I've been destined to do for this at this particular moment in time right now. And if anybody needs further proof, this is episode 105, baby. Why do you stop at episode 10?
Hello. Talk about it.
Yep. And I'm not trying to be on no cocky shit. I'm just stating facts.
No, listen, I'm someone that's always played the humble card. But sometimes you gotta flex. Sometimes it's okay to flex. Sometimes
It's okay to flex, especially
if you put the
true.
hard work.
Yeah.
In, it's okay to flex.
If it's a fact, it's you absolutely have to flex, because you have the evidence to back it up.
Exactly.
Yeah. So one of the things also that's interesting about you is that, it really shows that we really are in a small world, even in this age of technology and everything, because right now on our Instagrams, we follow 54 mutual people. And I'm looking through the number of people that we have on there. And a lot of them are just like, we mentioned it before earlier. And I also noticed that some of these are podcasters and influencers and everything. But the point that I'm getting at specifically here is that in this little circle that I see that we're following each other mutually, it's big, but it's also kind of insulated. And it feels like nobody's really in competition with anybody. We all trying to lead towards the same goal and everything. And I love seeing that. It really is a wonderful, beautiful community. And coming from a guy that didn't feel like I had necessarily the love and the whatever from my actual family, seeing this in my actual circle, my family actually makes me feel like I actually finally belong somewhere. I mean, that's got to be an amazing feeling for you as well.
It is. It's like family. And seeing us all win just makes it so much better.
Yeah, I never understood the importance of competition. Maybe a little bit of friendliness, bickering here and there, but when you're actually trying to take down somebody, which I've actually experienced here and there, but I'm not letting it get me down.
Yeah,
but it is out there.
People will try. Whether they succeed is something else.
Yeah. And again, trying to be humble and not trying to be cocky or anything, but you do feel like when you start to sense a little bit of success, like some kind of semblance of success, and not necessarily the monetary reasons, just any other kind of success, that's when the haters start to come out of the woodwork. And it certainly happened to me, and I'm pretty sure that's happened to you in some aspects.
Other people's insecurities can cause them to, try to stop what's happening for you or discredit you just because they're not experiencing that. And sometimes it's people that have done better than you, quote unquote, what, on paper, what looks like is better, or they might seem like they have way more success because they have more followers or more engagement. And even from there, sometimes you get like people trying to put you down one way or another. And that's just their insecurity. They're scared. For whatever reason, they see something in you that's like, hold up, this one's a good one. Let's make her feel like shit real quick. But we're just joking.
Narcissist 9-1, please. Yeah.
But yeah, I've been there, done that. And the spiritual side of me reminds me that everybody's going through their own growth. And that's just where they're at mentally in certain things. And, everything that glitters ain't gold. Ain't gold.
Yeah, no, you said it right.
Yeah, everything that glitters ain't gold. The Dominican tongue sometimes makes me feel like I'm not saying things the right way. But yeah.
Is that true, Marv? Because I know you very que lo que, brother.
Yo,
yeah, he concurs. Yeah.
Sometimes I can. Like sometimes the Spanish comes out, and I would notice when I would be rapping. You'd be on the studio inside the studio, and you're like saying something, and then you say this, without even noticing.
Right. So I mentioned before also that we've had some mutual friends on the show before, like with Alana and Rachel and Ramon and now you. So I know that you guys are you're very cohesive with each other. You guys are very tight knit and so on and so forth. And I guess one project that has been really out there and has been getting a lot of love and everything, and it seems like it's really popping off, is the film by Ramon Pesante. Excuse me, can't even fucking talk today.
Ramon Pesante. Can I say it?
Of course, yeah.
Plain Sam. Now premiering at New York Latino Film Festival.
Yes.
The 22nd, and I cannot wait for everybody to see.
I can't wait to see it. I already have some friends of mine that have seen it already. I can't wait to see it. It's the accolades that it's been getting has been very overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of Ramon and everything that he's been able to do and everybody involved in it, especially with Alana and so on and so forth. But what was your experience like on playing Sam personally?
It was, I was brought in as a cameo. And it's just great just to get to film with everybody. I feel like my role, even though it's small, it's important, and it was funny. And I just love what he did with the film, because it is something that we all experience as Latinos trying to make it in this game, and even getting the opportunity to audition in certain things, or getting boxed into certain roles when we know that we are capable of playing leads and, telling our stories without having to always be the nurse or the drug dealer or the cleaning lady.
Mm-hmm. Basically the usual parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that part.
So that's what I love so much about the film, and just how Ramon was able to do this film. I think it was just like 5 days that he had to film this, something like that. Don't quote the days exactly, but
Right.
it was just something that he did pretty fast, and some scenes were improv. Just the way that he was able to put this together and the impact that it has. Like when I got to see the premiere, it was just beautiful. And I love him for that. And I love everybody in the cast, and everybody did such a great job portraying all these characters, which didn't even seem like we're portraying characters. We're really playing kind of like ourselves and what we go through.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, leading to from one movie role to another, I know that you're also part of a movie that is called Chained.
Yes.
Now, I won't spoil too much, because I do want the audience to check out your film and everything, and it is on some streaming sites right now. If anybody's interested in checking it out, it's called Chained. Came out in 2018. I guess the one question I want to ask you with that particular role is, when I saw the film, I noticed that not only was your performance good, but it was almost like you had to tap into a certain evil that is not necessarily common. So you being the charismatic actress that you are, and actually doing your homework and doing the art, how were you able to tap into that kind of evil that you portrayed in that character?
Being, still, even though I'm not that person, I was still raised around that environment. So it was kind of like mimicking some of the things that I saw in my environment growing up. Chained, the movie, is based on a true story. Shout out to Deborah Cardona. She gave me the opportunity to play the lead, along with some great friends of mine that are part of it as well. And I kind of wanted to say her story. I felt like she went through a lot, and being able to help her realize her vision was like a goal as well, like a goal. She found me when I was working in El Barrio. I worked at Chase.
Okay.
And I was a teller. And she walked in there after just being released from doing time. And while she was doing time, she was writing a lot of urban novels. She was one of the first women to write urban novels and get recognized for it. So she was a hustler. She would go sell her books on the block, and then she had a bookstore. I think it was like on 116th, more or less. And she walked in that Chase, and she was like, "You don't belong here. You don't belong here. You're gonna play jazz. You're gonna play me in this movie." And then a few years passed and we lost track, but she found me on Facebook again. And that's how that came about.
Got you.
It was a great experience.
Yeah.
Can't lie.
Yeah. And when you were able to get into character, I know this has happened with some people that really take their craft seriously. Did you find yourself being able to, even when, they say cut, that's a wrap, and, it's into post-production, everything, did you still feel like that kind of semblance of character was still kind of in you that you needed to get out?
Yeah, like sometimes when they say cut, like you can't just switch it off right away.
Right.
And to even think about some of the things that she experienced, and it was like, it makes you think like, oh, wow, like you still kind of feel that feeling in there. But, I try my best not to hold on to things that are too heavy either, because that's not good.
Right. Now, as I mentioned before, you do a lot. You do acting, you've done comedy, you've done music, you've done this, that, your mother and everything. I guess I want to know, for you personally, like when you're not doing any of these things, like what is not just Black Rose, what does Rosemary do? Like what do you do for yourself, and what do you do to take care of your own mental health when you're not doing all these things that you are known for?
I like taking naps. Naps are fun.
Yes.
They're good. I like spending time at home, or visiting a close friend. My best friend, I'm so lucky, lives right on my block.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Shout out to my best friend, Rochelle. I love you.
Ding.
And like, it's those simple, small things of just like, yo, what you doing? What you doing? Nothing. I want to light up? I bet. What we making today? What we going to order? Like, just like being able to watch a stupid show. Like, we be watching The Bachelor and The Bachelorette.
Mm-hmm.
Like, simple things like that really make me happy. And I know that there's no judgment. I know she's not there. Like, she has no gain from me besides our friendship.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not one of the things that, like, sometimes we meet people, everybody wants to be a close friend or best friend. And then there are some people in the industry that are close, that it's great that we have the same passion, but to be able to just go and be with someone that I know doesn't want anything from me but a friendship is great.
Right.
And then, of course, other pleasures like talking to my son, because he moved far. He's like 5 hours and a half away.
Wow.
And so being able to talk to him, I'm glad that I don't have to chase him. He calls me. We FaceTime. Like, those are the little things that make me happy. My cat makes me happy.
Mm-hmm. You a cat mom?
Yeah, I'm a cat mom. I love you, Mirage.
Oh. Your cat is a character. I've actually seen it on social media as well. You know? Sometimes I think y'all should have your own show every now and then.
That would be great. That would be great.
What
She'll
about
be the
traveling?
star.
What about traveling? Like,
Traveling's cool.
Yeah.
I wish I could travel more. I will.
what would be like your vacation spot? Like, if somebody would be like, if Diddy would have hit you up right now, he lend you his private jet for the weekend, where's the first place you going to?
Oh, somewhere I've never been.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe Aruba. I don't know.
Nice.
Or Greece. Greece looks nice.
I would love to go to the Greek islands one day.
Doesn't it look nice?
Oh, hell yeah.
Aren't they like trying to bribe us?
I don't know all about that.
Haven't you guys seen like everything? All these countries are trying to bribe us to go get dual citizenship or like move there. Like, they'll give us land and a house and money monthly. I saw one for Greece and I was considering it. But you can't move by yourself. You got to move with somebody. I don't know.
Ask your son to move out.
He ain't leaving me. He's not leaving me.
No, coming with you.
Oh, come. Yeah. He won't.
No?
My son is very simple.
Okay.
He works from home. It's just him and his fiance and their 2 dogs and their red dragon iguana, whatever. I don't know what it's called.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like those are the places that I would like to go. Either Greece, Aruba. Where else? I love Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
Puerto Rico's beautiful. I could always go there again. And of course, DR.
DR, yeah.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to say DR.
Yeah.
I mean,
saving the best for last.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess it must be different considering the fact that, like, you've probably been to DR plenty of times, but not just for vacation, but it's more family oriented.
It's more family oriented. I haven't gotten to experience DR like maybe I've gotten to experience PR.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because my mom had me when she was 40. So all my aunts and uncles, they're all older. So when I go out there, they're not taking me anywhere. I'm just there in el campo.
Yeah.
Ordeñando vaca. You know, like that's what we be doing. Watching my little cousins grab the chicken, like with a flinch of an eye and killing it in the backyard. It gets a little traumatizing for me. I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah.
My grandmother passed away. May she rest in peace. She's gonna make about 6 years gone as well. And there's a tradition that when someone passes away out there, the household receives the body. So the body gets viewed in the house, and then they take it to the church.
I see.
But you have to cook for the town. It's your responsibility to feed the town as they come visit the body in the house, as they pay their respects. So I had to see I didn't see it. I didn't want to see it. A pig.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
And first they're showing me the backyard, showing me all the animals, and they're like, oh, and I'm like, oh, and they're like, yeah, and that's the one we're gonna kill for the dinner.
Oh my God, that's brutal.
And then I was in the space where they were about to do it, and they were pulling the pig, and he knew he was gonna die.
Is this a real thing, Marv?
Oh my
They
God!
do this
He
in
knew
DR?
he was gonna die. He knew he
He's
was
not
gonna
familiar
die.
with this.
Oh my God! In DR, yo te velan for like 5 years, and every year on your anniversary, everybody gets together. But that first year, they feed the whole town. The whole town comes to eat. So they killed the pig. I couldn't see it. I couldn't watch it. My heart broke. I didn't eat it. I did not eat it.
I don't think I could either.
And then I remember like a few days later, they were supposed to kill the cow. I didn't want to be there for that. I was like, I just want to go back home. And came back to New York.
Wow, what a shift in the show.
Sorry,
right now.
yeah. Dominican. Yeah, that's what happened. That's why I haven't gotten to experience DR as much. That was why I was saying that story, because, I'm stuck with the viejos.
Wow.
So I want to go to DR one day and like really explore, like El Andariego. I don't know if you guys heard of him.
I'm not familiar with it now.
Okay, look him up. He just shows you DR like from one corner to the next, and he goes to each and every pueblo and just shows you the beauty of DR.
That's awesome. I haven't been to DR. I'm not Dominican myself, but I've been to DR back when I was 16. It's
You ever had a Dominican?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a little Dominican.
Yeah, no, I've had my fair share of Dominican girlfriends. Like, I don't know why, and I don't even know why I'm saying this, but it seems like the type of women that seem to be attracted to me the most are Dominicans or Peruvians.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I don't know what kind of cavorca I have that's making me attracted to them, but it is what it is. But I got nothing to complain. So I guess we're about to close this episode in a little bit. Goddamn, I can't even talk today. But I want to know what's.
Does that make you nervous, darling?
Kind of. I didn't mention before that I'm a little starstruck with having you in studio today. So please bear with me. But what is next for Black Rose? I mean, it seems like you got everything that's been going on. You have the movie coming out. You've been doing the Hilarious show. You got a bunch of projects. What is it? What more can you tell us that's next for Black Rose that the masses could be prepared for?
I love mastering this stand-up. And I really want to focus on being able to tell all my stories. I'm still learning what works on stage, and eventually put out a one-woman show.
Nice.
But right now it's more like perfecting my stand-up, putting myself out there, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. And that's a process too. I love what's been happening recently. Just the other day, I got to see someone that we really admire, Aida Rodriguez. Shout out to her. She's representing us Afro-Latinas, indigenous Afro-Latinas out here.
Nice.
Through the stand-up. So I see her as like a mentor, and seeing all our friends doing really good when it comes to pursuing their stand-up. And I'm like, yo, this is something that, oh my God, look at all of us. We're all Latinos representing ourselves and making sure that our presence is out there. So more stand-up and a one-woman show for sure coming from me soon.
Put it out in the universe. Manifest that shit.
Yeah, it's
baby.
happening.
Yes, absolutely.
Listen, booked.
Yeah. Well, listen.
Specials already filmed.
Oh, even beautiful. I love it. So, Black Rose, I can't tell you how much I've been wanting to do this for quite some time. I'm not even being hyperbolic when I'm saying that I'm starstruck, because I've been following you for quite some time.
Hyperbolic. The fuck does that mean? I was joking.
But yeah, I'm really glad that we were able to do this, and I think that this also goes to show that as great as I think that you are with your craft and everything, you're just a humble human being, just like the rest of us, and you're very grateful in everything that you've been doing in life and so on and so forth. And I can't wait to see what you got going on next. And yeah, everybody just follow Black Rose at I Am Black Rose on Instagram.
Yes,
also,
and follow Dominican Flags Up, because we're representing our Dominicans. I'm leading that as well. I have a block party coming up on the 23rd. I don't know if this is going to drop before that, but if it doesn't...
It's going to drop in 2 days, so yeah.
Oh, so yes, Dominican Flags Up, September 23rd, in front of the plaza right in United Palace in Washington Heights. Free comedy show, free performances. I'm doing this for the community. Shout out to Carmen de la Rosa's office for helping me get this going as well. But I really want to highlight all us Dominican creators that are making noise right now. Yeah.
You hear that, Marv? We out. We in there. We'll be out
Bring
there.
the family.
Yep.
12 to 5. Plaza de las Americas. I think that's what it's called.
Okay.
Specifically, 175 and Broadway, Washington Heights.
Yeah, there you go, baby. Okay. All right. So anyway, before we leave, I just have one more question, and this is something that I ask everybody that comes onto the show.
Okay.
No right or wrong answer. It's just something that, to end things on a positive note. Yes,
All right.
Here we go.
Let's
so
go.
if they,
I didn't fart, guys. I promise. I just my jeans match this.
Yeah.
I mean, my pleather pants match the leather couch.
We good. Excuse you. So anyway, you, Black Rose, if they were to make a movie on your life, and one hell of a movie it would be, which actress would you like to see portray your character and why? No right or wrong answer.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna need a few, right? Like I need somebody to pay me when I was young. and
Who would play you right now?
oh my God, that is such a good question. Like, oh my God, imagine a Zoe Saldana.
Oh, there you go. That's a popular one. Zoe Saldana.
Love her.
She's beautiful. She's amazing. She's doing her thing.
Oh my God, what is the name of the actress that just got into Star Wars?
Oh, Rosario Dawson.
Sweetheart.
Oh my God. There you go.
Rosario.
Mm-hmm.
Zoe Rosario. Una de las dos would make me very happy.
Wasn't she also in The Heights, which is something that you were in as well?
Yeah, it's a little background
Yeah,
work.
you did a little background work. I saw that. And let's not forget West Side Story.
West Side Story, a little background there too.
Yeah. Was it here in Patterson? Because I know they filmed it here in
Yes.
Patterson. Oh shit.
Yes.
Right in your hometown, Marv. Yeah.
I was.
All right. Well, again, thank you so much for coming through here. I
Thank
feel
you
like
for
this has been an
having me.
accomplishment. I was able to get the one and only Black Rose on first class, second place. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to before we close out?
Just want to thank you, God. I want to thank God and all my ancestors. I want to thank my mom. I want to thank everybody, all of you guys, like all my friends, even you motherfuckers that did me wrong. Thank you.
Dang, sound like a rapper at the BET Awards.
Listen, just want to thank God. First of all,
He's the most
him,
high.
Most high. Without him, there's nothing. But it's they're not lying.
It is true.
Yeah, I just want to thank the universe. I'm grateful for everything.
I want to thank you. I really appreciate this more than you realize. Yeah. And where can they find you on social media real quick?
You guys can find me on Instagram. I am Black Rose NYC. YouTube. I'm going to try to be consistent with that. The same thing. I am Black Rose NYC. And yeah, I keep it simple.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
All right, I love it. I love to see it. And ladies and gentlemen, you can find me at @JasonEnrique_ on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, all the social media platforms. Just do @JasonEnrique_. Don't forget to like, subscribe on YouTube at First Class Second Place. Live from Bravery Studios. This is the First Class Second Place podcast. We out.
Also,